Just don't study. Right now, your body is signaling to you that you're exhausted, that you need a break. So look around you, grab the nearest blanket that you can find, turn the light off, go all the way around to your bed and take a nice, long, well-needed rest. Then wake up at 3 a.m, realize how many deadlines you have and start cramming work until you literally start feeling dizzy. Now, obviously, I'm joking. Most of us don't have the time to go to bed or to relax and need this work done now. So how do you study when you're literally exhausted and it's super late at night? Well, luckily for you, I'm gonna give you my tips for studying late and how to get work done even when you're so tired. Because trust me, I've been through it too. Now, there are two ways to look at this, okay? There's studying longer and then they're studying better. And when I go through these tips, we're gonna rotate between them. One tip showing you how to study longer, getting more energy and feeling more awake. And the next one is gonna be about how to study better, how to be more optimized and actually get more done, being more efficient in your studying. Both of these being equally as important when you're studying this late or feeling this tired. So that's why it's gonna be a mix. So number one, posture. If right now you're watching this trying to get motivation to study and you're slouching over, you're laying down, looking up at your phone, then instantly you've already found the problem. You've already found why you're feeling so tired and why it's so hard to study right now. You might be thinking, why the hell does it matter if I'm slouching or if I'm upright? Well, it turns out by a lot of research that your mind and your body are more connected than you think. And in simple terms, what that means is the closer your position is to sleeping or to being laid over in your bed, the more tired you're actually going to feel because your brain is physically noticing that you're in that position. And it's thinking, wow, this is the same position that I sleep in. Maybe it's time to go to bed. And if you're trying to study and stay up and get those deadlines done, then this is not what you want. So if you're trying to study, get up, get upright, get in that position where you're ready to study how you normally are during the day. Number two, your phone. I don't know how many videos I've actually made talking about your phone, but let me just break it down for you. If we're being honest, most of the time when we get distracted, when we get off our work, it's because of our phone. It's because we get a message, we get a notification, or we just start scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or something. And when you're studying late, when you're feeling tired, it's so much easier to slip into this state. So just grab your phone, lay down in your bed, and before you know it, you've actually gone to bed, you've slept, and you've missed the deadline for that essay that was due tomorrow and all that work that you had to do tonight. So this is the solution, okay? Put this phone in another room, a complete separate place to where you're studying. If I'm studying in my room on my desk, I'm gonna slap my phone, I don't even know, the toilet, downstairs in the living room, wherever the hell you want, as long as it's not in the room that you're studying. It needs to be out of sight and out of mind. That means that you're not going to just randomly grab it, get distracted, and stop studying and stop working on what you're doing. You really want to lock in and be able to study even when it's late and even when you're tired. This is a non-negotiable. Number three, okay, physical activity. Now look, maybe it's 12 or 1 a.m, so I'm not going to tell you to go to the gym. However, even something as simple as just getting up and going on a little walk around your house or your flat or wherever you are, or even just dropping down to the floor and doing a few sit-ups, a few press-ups, just a tiny little mini workout just to get your mind off the work for a bit, and doing this for about 5 or 10 minutes. Now you wouldn't believe how many benefits just a tiny bit of physical activity will actually have when you're studying. To name one, you're going to have increased blood flow to the brain from doing this physical activity. That means you're going to be able to focus more. You're going to get more work done because you can think more clearly. Secondly, it's going to get your mind off your work for a bit. This is really important. When you're tired, it's late, your mind is going to be fatigued from the entire day and it's just waiting to go to sleep. So giving it that tiny little break might give it that jolt of energy that it needs to finish what you're doing. I'm not telling you to do a lot here, just a small little walk around, little bit of activity will really help you. Number four is going to be time management. Now, when you want to just finish this work and just get to bed, you won't have a lot of time. You just want to finish it in the smallest amount of time possible and be as efficient as you can. Managing your time properly is going to be key to this because we don't want to end up getting distracted and not being able to study. What I would actually recommend for this is something called the Pomodoro technique. Now, a lot of us have probably heard of this because it is so popular, but for the right reasons. Now, let me explain to you how it works. The first step is going to be 25 minutes of you just doing some focused studying. Then you get a 5-minute break. After this break, you're going to go back to that and do another 25 minutes. And what happens is after you repeat this about 4 times, you're going to then give yourself a much longer 30-minute break. Now, this is what it's normally like, but since, we're studying late and we kind of want to decrease that a little bit, I would change this 4 times to about 3, and I change this 30-minute break to about 20 minutes because we don't want to end up going to bed and not finishing our work. Now, a lot of you might think, I don't really want to do this, it's a bit weird. But look, the reason why this technique is so good is that it gives you structure. It gives you something to follow, something to base your studying on, something to actually move forward with. And that helps to build momentum, which is so key when you're really tired and still trying to study. It helps you power through and keep going and going. So trust me, your next study session is getting a bit late, try out the Pomodoro technique. The next one I'm going to talk about is your environment. Sometimes just switching where you're studying helps a lot to give you more energy and help you get more focus. Switching from studying upstairs in your room to to maybe downstairs on a different table or in a different place, wherever you are. It changes the scenery, it changes the vibe, it gives you a different feeling altogether, which in most cases will have you feeling a bit more energized because it changes the way you're studying. Another thing I want to mention here is that you should limit distractions in your environment. Obviously, I'm assuming you've now put your phone in another room, so that's good. We got that handled. However, anything else that might distract you on your desk, maybe some papers, some clutter, some sort of mess that you need to fix, try and get rid of that and have it out of your sight. Also, have things in your environment that will help you focus better. For example, maybe put some classical music on if that's how you like studying, or have a hot drink like some tea that really helps you to get more focused and, keep you in. Just bear in mind that when it's late and you're trying to work, your environment is incredibly important. So look around you, make sure that there are no distractions, make sure that you've got things to breed focus, help you lock in, and from there, it will just be easy. The next quick thing I'm gonna speak about is caffeine. Also, most of us know it as just coffee. Now look, in my opinion, coffee is probably the best invention that we've ever created as a civilization. I think it's amazing, I think it does wonders, and I think it's saved me more times than I can count. However, when it's late, when you need to sleep in a few hours, it is risky, and you need to know about this one thing. Only use coffee if it's absolutely needed. And this goes, of course, if you're studying late. Because yes, I'm not gonna lie, most people have this effect where caffeine will obviously give you tons of energy. It means you're gonna study for longer and it keeps you hella focused. However, most of the times when I drank coffee and it was late, I had not great sleep. I woke up the next morning and I did not feel amazing. So if you have something that you need to get done and there's a time limit, then yes, you should take some coffee and it will help you massively. However, know the risks. If you've got something important the next day, then maybe it's just not worth it. If you're drinking coffee late, your sleep will be affected. So be careful with this one. However, guys, I recommend coffee. It is great. The last and final thing I'm gonna speak about is something called the flow state. Now, this is something a lot of us students probably chase, but it's when you're so focused on your work, you're so focused on your studying that you don't even notice the small things going around you. You don't notice the time going forward. You don't notice any unimportant noises, or you stop thinking about those things in the back of your mind and you're just so absorbed in the studying, in the work that you're doing. Now, everyone wants to be in the flow state, and I'd say when it's late at night and it's so quiet, it's actually a lot easier to get in that state. And I purposely structured this list by putting this last because the way to get in the flow state is to literally follow all the steps we just spoke about. Minimizing distractions, your environment, your posture, all of those things are going to play into it and make you get more and more focused to the point where you're going to get into this flow state. The key thing is, of course, momentum. Keep building those small wins. Every time you do a few questions, you finish a little essay, you finish a little paragraph, keep celebrating those and build that momentum, build that focus to the point where you eventually get in this state. Now, obviously it goes in a lot more detail than this, but I thought I'd just mention it briefly so you get an idea. And when you do feel it, you'll know that you're in it. So those are all my tips. Look, I really hope this helped you because it helped me get my 3A stars, get my insane grades at GCSE, and really helped me out in my life as a whole. Being able to study late, being able to study when you're so tired and exhausted is an insanely powerful weapon. But know your limits. Your brain is important. Your brain is your mind. So take care of yourself. If you need some sleep and you're honestly dying, go get some sleep. Your health always comes before anything else. So take care of yourselves, do well in your exams, and I hope everything goes well. Check out my other videos for more tips on your studying.